Hey everyone, welcome to the Geriatric Momma podcast. It is our first episode ever. So we're excited to have you here. My name is Ashley Bailey Farley, but you can call me the Geriatric Momma. But obviously I would not be here, couldn't be here if it wasn't for my amazing friend and equally amazing producer, Claire Bucchiani. Claire, we're here. First episode.
We are here.
I'm so excited.
So excited. I'm so excited to go on this journey with you.
It's a journey indeed. So I feel like half of our audience is like, what is a geriatric mama? And the other half is like, yes, finally someone's talking about this, right? So let me just back that up with a couple facts, right? So a geriatric mama, according to the CDC, is any woman, person who gets pregnant after the age of 35. And it's really that simple, right? So the whole point of this podcast is really an exploration of my ridiculously yet enlightening journey into motherhood. And the truth is I'm terrified. I'm absolutely terrified. But I think laughing at myself and having people laugh with us is going to be great for me and hopefully for all of our listeners. Now, Claire is not technically a geriatric mama, right? But she is going on the journey herself.
I'm just 2 years shy. Just 2 years shy.
Just 2 years. So she's an advocate, she's an ally, and she's a big part of us building this community. So I'm so glad that we're doing this together.
Same, Ashley. I cannot wait to go on this journey with you. We've got so many amazing and exciting things ahead. So pumped.
Absolutely. We have some great interviews. We're going to touch on so many different subjects. But I want to get down to kind of the basics of a geriatric mama, right? Medically, it's, considered geriatric pregnancy. And that is a true term that you can be considered geriatric in your 30s and 40s, which is ridiculous, right? But there are some serious risks that come with being a geriatric mom. And I just want to touch on a few of those because we don't want to minimize them, but we also don't want them to become weights that hold us back or hold us down from pursuing motherhood, which is something that, we want to do. So absolutely. A couple of those risks include it might take you a little bit longer to get pregnant, which can be true of any woman getting pregnant. It's just an elevated factor when you are over the age of 35. You are more likely to have multiple pregnancies, which, to me, I'm like just trying to comprehend one. My husband, Justin, wants me to have two. So he's been like putting that out into the universe. I'm like, are you going to carry the other one? Is this like a tag team situation? Because I just don't see it, but apparently that's elevated when you are a geriatric mama. You might have
I didn't know that.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That would be so insane. Other things that could develop, which are a little bit more serious, are gestational diabetes. And of course, you could develop high blood pressure during your pregnancy. So Claire and I don't claim to be medical professionals by any means. But we think it's important to know facts so that you can figure out how to navigate them, right?
Absolutely. We're here to help you learn the truth, but also we're here to embrace you and send you great vibes as we go along this journey together.
And just so you know, I got those facts about some of the risk of what you might experience being a geriatric mama from the Mayo Clinic. So there's a lot of information out there that you can explore. And I would encourage you to do that before you go and visit your doctors and talk about motherhood, just so you have some knowledge going into it. And then you can gain more knowledge as you leave your appointments. But one thing that really kind of terrifies me personally about being a geriatric mama is just the rates in which Black women are dying during pregnancy, specifically during childbirth. That's one of my fears and why, one of the reasons why I wanted to build this community so we can talk about those types of things. It does scare me, just like all the other risks that we mentioned. But at the same time, I don't want those things to keep me from doing something and sharing an experience with my husband, bringing a child into the world. There's always going to be reasons not to. So I think I need to lean, and we as a community need to lean into all the reasons why we want to, no matter how ridiculous they are. And no matter, for me, how irrational those fears and reasons of not doing it might be, right? Sharing our stories and our experiences, is the reason for this podcast, to just provide a positive community for women who are going into an experience that isn't talked about very much. People don't talk about geriatric pregnancies. I didn't really hear about it until I was talking to another woman that was around my age. And I was just like, are you serious? This is what we're referred to in the medical field. We're geriatric because we delayed our pregnancies a little bit. If you think about it, it's kind of funny. It's a little bit funny. I imagine that, it was a man that came up with it. The same man who came up with.
Absolutely.
He probably was cousins with the guy who invented bras. And they're probably cousins with the guys who invented those tight ass shoes with the heels on them that we try to squeeze our feet into. They're all related, and it's all the patriarchy. And this community has no time. We have no time for that at all. So that is the reason for this podcast. That's why the Geriatric Momma is here. We're building a community of support. We're laughing at ourselves. We're getting as much information out there to be empowered in this process. And it's going to be a wild ride. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. We're reclaiming the geriatric mama. That's for sure.
Yes, we are reclaiming it. I will also say that I have been afraid of childbirth, and we're going to have a really fun interview with my mom coming up, which might explain where my fears have come from. But just the idea of labor, I think I'm okay with the idea of carrying the baby. It does feel like a sci-fi movie that you're kind of living through. But the pushing the human out, that's the part where I'm like, ooh. I imagine it's like that 80s movie Alien where the baby pops out and does a little song and dance and then runs out the room.
Oh gosh.
I know I want it to be like that scene from Snow White where she like walks into the forest and there's like birds landing on her hand and there's butterflies and all the little squirrels and chipmunks are singing and dancing. But in my head, it's just like Alien and I can't get past it. So hopefully
the raccoon just helps the baby come gently out of the womb.
What happened to the stork? Like, why couldn't that actually be real? How come I can't just like go on Amazon and say, I think I'll take a girl, and just have her gently land on my doorstep.
Just a little baby delivery. I feel like that almost came from the time where, back in the day, women used to just be knocked out. They were passed out when they were giving birth. So they got to give birth in their sleep. And
how the hell does that happen?
I don't know. It's a little terrifying.
But it is. You just wake up and you're like, congratulations.
Yeah. You
honestly, it doesn't sound that bad. That's how terrified I am of the whole process. I told you, I'm not rational when it comes to these things. I'm just trying to make sure that I don't experience that scene from Alien. And as long as I can do that, I think I'll be okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Women are way stronger than I think we give ourselves credit for, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And if we perhaps focus on making ourselves as healthy and positive in those ways, there's no reason why we can't get through pregnancy and labor and becoming a mother with strength and empowerment. We can do that. Sometimes some of us, including myself, just need a little bit more encouragement. Because I think I focus on all the really weird things that happen and all the really amazing things that come from it. But I don't think I'm alone with that, I think it's coming.
Ashley, how did you get here? What was that? What was that journey?
How did I become a geriatric mama, right? Yeah. So I am 37. I have no problem saying what my age is, especially with this skin here, So
I mean,
there's no problem with that.
Flawless. Gorge.
But how did I get here? So honestly, I think I ended up in this position in a way that a lot of women do for various reasons. One, I've been with my husband since we were 14 or 15 years old, and we just developed a life where we love to party and hang out and, go get drinks and dance the night away and get dressed up. And that's been such a huge part of how we have fun. We love to travel and go to random places and do all sorts of random things wherever we can, just try new things. I also have this amazing photo shoots, obviously, right? And then I have sort of this weird balance with my career where I've had success in pursuing a corporate career, but at the same time, I'm an artist and I want to pursue all of my artistic endeavors as well. So that really takes up a lot of my headspace and a lot of the time that I have. And on top of that, I just never really had the motherly instinct. I wasn't one of those girls who were obsessed with dolls when they were younger, and not that there's anything wrong with that. I just wasn't one of those, one of those kids. I've never wanted to really just be a mom. It wasn't something that clicked with me. I don't even think I've maybe changed 2 or 3 diapers in my entire life. And I've obviously blocked those experiences out of my head because I don't remember what baby that would have been and when that would have happened. Maybe I'm just making it up. I don't know if I've ever changed a diaper before.
Yeah, we got to get you some practice.
I know. I need one of those dolls where I can just wrap them up and send them on their way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that just never really clicked with me. And honestly, it wasn't until I experienced a tragedy when I lost my brother a couple years ago. And when he passed, he had a 3 and 4-year-old. And for various reasons, my mom adopted them. And because my mom has already raised 2 kids, myself and my husband, Justin, are going to be co-parenting. We're all moving in a house together and we're going to raise the kids together. And just being a part of their lives in a parental sense really just kind of woke something up inside of me. Just seeing their little faces and watching them discover new things and learn new words and ask questions about things, and just watching them grow and to be that support system for them. It just brought so much joy into my life during a really hard, honestly, the hardest and most tragic moment of my life. The kids were really essential in pulling me out of that, and their love and their innocence just was like, wow, this is such an amazing feeling. This feeling of being a parent is absolutely a sort of love that I just had never experienced before. And I know so many people who have children, it's like, oh, you really won't understand it until you're there in the moment. Cause I'm just like, I feel so fulfilled now. I have my husband. We have a great life together. We've come through so much together and we continue to discover new things about each other. But there's just an energy that the kids bring into your life that is so unique and so beautiful. So it really was the tragic passing of my brother that ironically woke in the sense of wanting to become a mother. And I'm so thankful that the journey of grieving has ended with something so amazing and so exciting, and yet very terrifying at the same time.
Sure. It can be all of those wrapped into one, it doesn't have to.
Yeah,
none of
absolutely.
It has to be mutually exclusive. And I think I'm still in awe of you and all of your strength. And I think it's really important for people to hear that story, because I think so many women come into this realization of wanting to join in motherhood in so many different ways. And I think it's really important to share those differing stories, because it's not always cookie cutter. I always played with dolls. I always wanted to be a mom. We stumble and find our way in so many different ways. And I will say,
absolutely,
you have always been within my friend group, one of the most, I think you have a very natural motherly instinct within you, because you are so caring and you give great advice, by the way. Great advice. Yes, you do.
I need to start taking some of that.
Well, sometimes it's hard to give your own advice to yourself. I know that.
Right.
But I think you're going to be, I already know that you're an amazing mother, especially with those 2 little cherubs that you're going to be parenting. And it's so beautiful to watch you come into this journey. And I'm so excited for when you also get pregnant. Let's do this.
Oh my gosh. That's the next step, right? It's like when you're a geriatric mama and you decide that that's what you want to do, then you have to start planning things, right? So you want to make sure that when you're ovulating, you know that, so that you can vouch wow during those moments and heighten your chances of getting pregnant. You know what? I had never thought that I would plan my pregnancy. I was pretty sure me and Justin were going to end up with a little, oopsie, here, we're pregnant. That's how I thought my whole life. And now I'm like, all right. Yeah. Now I have an app where I'm like, okay, now I'm ovulating. So on this day and this day, we're going to get it on. And you know what? It's a little weird, but it's kind of cool at the same time. It's like this, you have this purpose behind it. And then afterwards you're like, oh shit, am I going to be pregnant? And is that what we're doing?
Hopefully.
You just have that weird look. Just have that look like deer in the headlights. Like, what did we just, okay, so we are trying to, this is what we're doing.
Yes.
We're creating a human, hopefully. But it's been a really crazy experience. And, honestly, the best advice that I've gotten regarding all of these topics are from my friends who are in the same boat that I'm in, who have gone through it, who are currently going through it. And, I think that community is important. And I think that this podcast will hopefully extend that community and make geriatric pregnancy not something that just women who are experiencing it at the moment talk about, but just women in general, because you never know where your life may take you. You might be your early 20s now and you think you got it all figured out. And then you look up and you're like, oh, I'm 34, knocking on 35, and I haven't done that yet. And that's totally okay. You're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. But we just want to be knowledgeable going into it. And I think that we should exercise our fears and how, at least for me, how irrational I am about the whole thing. Like if I'm equating pregnancy to the movie Alien, then you know I got some issues I need to work out.
I don't think that it's
but
that
that's what
far
we're here
off,
for.
Though. Yes, that is what we're here for. What would you say is your most irrational fear when it comes to pregnancy?
That's a really good question. I feel like I have so many of them that like my brain is freezing. I would say that all of my most irrational thoughts are centered around the idea of going into labor and actual childbirth. Like it seems like the harshest thing ever.
Yeah.
It's just like you're just like minding your own business and then a human comes out of the most vulnerable part of your body.
Oh my gosh. Or
just
and
burst
a lot of
on through.
Cut out, you know, with C-section.
Yeah, absolutely.
That happens.
I have the craziest story of a coworker of mine had a C-section. She was also a geriatric mama. She had a C-section, but her baby's super healthy. She's healthy. She's thriving, living her best life now. She said that she remembers looking over and seeing some like organs sitting on the table because, you're awake during the whole thing. And then like, the baby comes out, organs go back in, and she remembers standing up and feeling everything shift and kind of like plop back into the original place where they belong. How crazy is that?
That is like a horror movie. That's
right.
That's terrifying. That's terrifying. But also
now apparently
to how strong women are. Like that's insane.
Oh my gosh, 100%. Because like I said, she's just living her best life now, like it never happened. And I know we always joke about that hormone. I have to figure out what it's called, where after you give birth, there's a hormone release that helps you forget about the trauma you basically just went through. And we need to get that on the shelves. Like I need that before, like a 5-hour energy, just like bloop. And then away we go. We want to emphasize that all of these experiences that we're going to have are so unique to ourselves. So if you are a woman who ends up with a C-section or for whatever medical reasons, you'll probably have a C-section, you are going to be totally fine through that. I think the biggest thing we can do is make sure, again, that our bodies are healthy as possible, right? You don't have to go out and do drastic things to get into shape. Just like treat your body a little better.
Very differently for different people,
Absolutely. I think it's just a matter of, at least for me, it's just eating a little bit better because I like junk food. And I love fast food. I'm not even going to lie about it. I love it.
We're here for the truth, Ashley. That's all we want here.
Right?
Yes.
Sometimes I'm like, get me the number 2 from McDonald's and then we'll discuss what we're going to eat later on tonight.
Yeah. For me,
that's just my life, right?
Yeah.
Right? Oh my gosh. Ooh. So I think for me, it's just about substituting those meals a little bit more with something that I can make at home. I can make a burger at home and it'll be way healthier than what I'm going to get out there, right? And then for me, exercise. I have to get up, go for some walks. You know, you don't have to go out and crush weights or you don't have to become a gym rat or anything crazy like that, which we know in LA, that is a huge culture. So don't compare yourself to those people that live at the gym, and no shade to the people that live at the gym. But most of us are not going to be on that. So just do what's right for your body. Sometimes just going out and getting a great walk is really all you need, right?
Absolutely.
But also make sure you talk to your doctors. If you're preparing yourself to go into pregnancy, and this journey into motherhood, it's okay to just make that appointment and say, I'm preparing for this. What can I do to take care of my body and my mind? And I actually had an appointment like that. And because I do have a history of anxiety and depression, and that's something that we're going to talk about later on in our season. But one thing that my doctor recommended is that I get back into therapy, because I was in therapy for a while and then I stopped. She was like, just so you can help yourself manage your anxiety, maybe just talk to someone, So there's so many different things that we can do to prep. And those don't have to be drastic changes. Just little micro steps, I think, to get us to where we want to be, so that we can have healthy, happy. And I think for me, I would love to enjoy the experience. I don't want to just get through pregnancy. I want to actually enjoy it. And I think in order to do that, I have to be centered, mind, body, and spirit.
Like Miley Cyrus says, it's the climb,
It's the climb. How can she have so much wisdom?
I don't know, but it truly is. I think we're here to enjoy that climb together. And I mean, this podcast is going to have so many amazing interviews. We're going to talk about all sorts of different topics. We won't cover them right now because those are coming up in other episodes. But Ashley, I'm so excited for people to hear what is coming up down the pipe.
What's coming up? We're going to just get a lot of advice, shared experiences, and a lot of laughs coming up in this season. So if you are just entering this stage of wanting to becoming a mother, you found that this is something you wanted to do after the age of 35, welcome to our community. We are here. We are going to go through all the ups and downs, all the fears, all the laughs, and all the things that we're really excited about and really looking forward to. So we have a lot of great interviews with women who have experience, advice, funny stories, and just a really warm and positive energy, which is what I think you need when you're deciding to go into motherhood. So I'm super excited about this experience. What I would love is for if you have any topics or questions, our listeners out there that you would like us to cover, please message us. We are so here for you. This is a community. So within that community, we want to touch on things that you're interested in. And the way you can do that is by messaging us at our Instagram. So that is the DA_geriatric_momma, MOMMA. And from there, you can find the link in our bio for our YouTube page where you can watch all these fun videos and really just let us know what you want to hear about, what you want to talk about, because this isn't just for me and Claire to chit chat. We do that all the time anyway. This is for us, again, this is for us to build a community where we are safe. There is no shame for any reason as it relates to your personal journey into motherhood. And we're going to have a good time. So I'm super, super excited about this.
The journey begins.
the journey begins. So again, make sure you reach out to us and follow us on our Instagram page. Go ahead and hop onto our YouTube page and subscribe so you have all the updates. We're going to be posting a lot of fun videos about recipes that you can make as you try to get a little bit healthier, or if you have cravings while you're pregnant. We're going to be, I'm personally going to enter a journey into yoga, which I've never really done before. So if you want to see me struggle through some poses, and you can send me some poses that might be great for me to do, and you can watch me as I attempt them. It's just really interactive, really fun. And again, it's all about the community. So
absolutely,
thank you so much for joining us today. Our first episode. Stay tuned. We have some really great interviews coming up. And as always, me and Claire want you to know and encourage you to always take care of yourself, mind, body, and spirit. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.